My family were connected with the tailoring business in the East End of London, and I came out of the...
Hello and welcome to the Tesco Museum here in South Korea in the Tesco Academy. We've broken the museum into several sections. This section we call the History Tunnel and chronicles the life of Jack Cohen from his early days in retailing through to his death in 1979. In this first section, we show Jack Cohen from his early days in the markets through to his life presidency of Tesco in 1970. As we move across to here, you'll see more detail of local photographs of Jack and his family, his marriage, even his bank book, and some more detail about his times. Over on this panel, we show Jack Cohen as Sir Jack after him being knighted. We also have some sound bites of Jack Cohen talking about his early days that people can listen to. This is from the CD Barrow to Beijing. Over on this panel here, we talk about T.E. Stockwell and the creation of the Tesco name, the first launch of Tesco own brand tea, and the first modern grocer shop that was in Burnt Oak. That was in 1929. Still not self-service. This is a badge that Jack Cohen used to give to his people. He used to say it was a Yiddish word and it was spelt YCDBSOYA, which basically meant you can't do business sitting on your arse. And he used to give that out to all his staff to remind them, get on the floor and not be in the office. There's a lovely story here of Daisy Hyams when she was given the OBE. We'll move on now to the next panel. On here we've got some sound bites from David Malpass, Jack Cohen and Ian McLaurin talking about the early days in 1950 when we moved to self-service stores. And here we have pictures here of deliveries going to self-service where we bought Bernard's and John Irwin's stores and amalgamated them into the Tesco brand, and some pictures of our distribution centre. Over here in this panel we talk about the 1960s, the introduction of the Delamere brand and the selling of non-food. Here we talk about the Leicester store in 1960 with 16,500 square feet of store. That's quite a big store in those days. We've got some sound bites again here of David Malpass talking about the 1960s and the products that we were selling at that time. We move over here now to the end of the 60s where Jack Cohen was taking less and less a role in the business. An opening with Bob Monkhouse, so Save a Lot, massive queues outside our stores when we open new stores, and the introduction of Green Shield stamps. Quite a success at the time. Green Shield stamps, Tesco brand products starting to come onto the market. As we move to panel 8, we start to list the years again from 1970 through to 79. This was the time of Hyman Kreitman and then moving into Leslie Porter. Hyman Kreitman was Jack Cohen's son-in-law and was chairman for only 4 years. He moved on really as a result, he retired really as a result of the interference by the old man. But Hyman Kreitman was the first man to really put together a proper strategy for our business, and there's detail of that in the museum here. We also had the opening of our head office in Cheshunt, and some pictures here of old computers, which are massive great things that we had in those days. Jack Cohen died in 1979, and we've got some press cuttings from the day detailing Jack as the barrow boy but head of a store empire. We moved then to 1974 when Leslie Porter took over as chairman and Ian McLaurin took over as our managing director. Together these two gentlemen really set us on the right track, took us away from our financial situation which was not good at that time, and led us to where we are today. Over on this last panel, we talk about Norman Clark. Norman Clark, the father of Philip Clark, who's our current CEO, as you know. Just a little bit of detail, some interesting letters about pay increases and performance, and good performance, I'm pleased to say. And there's commemorative cufflinks as well given to him by Leslie Porter. I thought it was important that we understand that not only is it a history of the company, but it's also a little bit about the history of Philip Clark. So we move through from this section now into the second section of the museum. In the second section of the museum, we're going to talk about 1977, Operation Checkout, through to the new millennium, 2000. As we move to the first panel within this, we see Ian McLaren and Leslie Porter as the team that took us away from Green Shield stamps. Boardroom battles between Jack Cohen and Ian McLaren about the right move. And Jack Cohen was very clear. If you get this wrong, Ian, you're out of a job. So it was very, very important that Operation Checkout was right for our business, and it worked. Had it not worked, I don't think we would be here today as Tesco. It was a phenomenal success, and we just couldn't cope with the customers. There was thousands of customers bombarding our stores because the prices were so cheap. Our distribution was absolutely operating 24 hours a day to get products to us. And this panel tells all about that, tells all about Operation Checkout, and moves on to the one-stop dimension that Ian McLaren and Leslie Porter put together. The introduction of Checkout Card and our first store in Earlham, which was the forerunner to our extra stores today. Also, we got sound bites from David Malpass about out-of-town stores and the move to out-of-town. In the next panel, we move to 1979 to 81. The opening of Pitsea store, just under 100,000 square feet. The opening of Western Fable, 105,000 square feet in Northampton. We introduced a broader range of wines to help fill our large wines and spirits departments, which we were now growing and building in our big stores. We also pushed on with in-store bakeries, going into as many stores as possible. Save as you earn was introduced to our staff, starting to recognise the importance of Tesco staff to our business. Also, David Malpass and Jim Pennell were promoted to Tesco Holdings and Tesco Wholesale boards, respectively. As we move round here to the next section, we have sound bites from Terry Leahy on ready meals. We hear from Andy Dewhurst on fresh eggs and fresh free-range eggs, that is. And also we hear from George Marston about seasonality. This is the time when we really were pushing on with our fresh food business, short life product, and making the real changes in the way that people bought fresh foods. You'll see from here we start talking about fresh foods, as I said just a minute ago, about no-nonsense money-back guarantee, the importance of listening to our customers. There's a picture here of Don Burchett inspecting produce in the early 80s. We talk about technical services, talk about launching of customer panels, the importance now of listening very much to our customers, what it was that they wanted and what we could do to improve the shopping experience for them. We launched staff discount in 82. Also in 1982, we launched Checkout 82, which was basically a revamp of our Check Out the Prices promotions, ex Green Shield stamps. Leslie Porter was knighted in 1983. We opened our first venture with Marks and Spencer at Brookfield Farm, and we were launching healthy eating under the Tesco label. And down here you see our first ventures at home shopping. So in 1985 saw the retirement of Leslie Porter and the promotion of Ian McLaren to chairman, with David Malpass as managing director. We've got a very interesting piece of material here about the benefits of coming to work for Tesco as a trainee manager. On this side over here we have the main board in 1989, and Ian McLaren knighted in the New Year's Honours list. This video here is very important to us actually. Terry Leahy, as Marketing Director in 1986, talked to the company at the company conference about the categorisation of customers, the importance of listening to customers and being a customer-driven business. What Terry talks about on this video, we're doing today in our business. We're moving on now to 1990 through to 93. The introduction of the Essex barn design of our stores, computer for schools, Tesco Metro, the introduction of Tesco Petrol. This details the Dudley Moore advertising campaign. Dudley Moore was advertising premium products. We were really pushing hard against Sainsbury's and making good progress against Sainsbury's. The Dudley Moore campaign lasted for about 4 years.
Good evening. I'm from Tesco. I was just looking for some French free-range chickens.
Signore, you are in Italy, and this is a vineyard.
El Vignardo. El Squelcho. No, no sign of the chickens yet. But I did stumble across a fantastic new wine. Should I buy some? Well, it's a dry white, rather like Frascati, but it's the one the Italians drink. Colli
Albani.
Colli Albani, may we? The whole vintage?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'll tie it up. Chickens. Well, that's the business over with.
Signore, these chickens,
Yes.
What do they look like?
No, I haven't seen one yet.
As the economy turned, we had to move away from our premium advertising and hit more on pricing, letting customers know that we still were very good value for money. We introduced Tesco value lines. We also introduced first class service, our first customer service initiative. In 1994, we bid for William Lowe against Sainsbury, and we won the bid with a £57 million purchase of 57 stores in Scotland, giving us a great advantage over one of our major competitors, Sainsbury. We also introduced 2 express stores with petrol filling stations, and we launched the One in Front campaign. Dottie was also introduced, so here's a little story about Dottie and her success.
Oh, Mother?
I don't like the look of this fish.
What's wrong with it? It's perfectly fresh.
I know it's fresh, it just looks a bit sullen.
Sullen?
Its mouth goes down at the corners. Look.
Mother, it's a trout. That's the way trout look. They were born like that.
I think we should take it back.
Where to? Lake Windermere?
No, Tesco.
You can't take a fish back just because it looks miserable. What do you expect them to say? Have this cheerful soul instead, madam.
Have this cheerful soul instead, madam.
Oh, yes, that's the one.
At Tesco, if you're not happy with any of our products, for whatever reason, we'll give you an exchange or refund instantly.
He looks like my first husband. I'll enjoy cooking him.
Tesco. Every little helps.
We also launched Tesco Club Card, which was a phenomenal success and is to this day. We introduced online ordering and also an £8 million investment in Poland, our first venture into Eastern Europe. We moved on further into Hungary in 1996. Lord Maclaurin, or Ian Maclaurin, became Lord Maclaurin of Nebworth. We introduced our Dundee Customer Call Centre. All this is detailed here on the board. We talked about the Every Little Helps campaign, and again pushing on with Dottie and the introduction of Finest. In this video that we're showing here, this goes into some analysis about our Tesco advertising campaigns and how good they were for our business and what they did for us in this time in our history. In 1997, Terry Leahy introduced our four-part strategy: customers, people, finance and operations, our first steering wheel. This led us then through into the new millennium. As we moved to this last panel in the section, 1999 to 2000, we see Tesco and Samsung getting together in Korea, Tesco with Lotus in Thailand. We see our millionth customer in Tesco Personal Finance, and we see the introduction of Tesco Mobile. Terry tells us about growing the business to create value in 2000, and there's a lot of detail there from Terry. We also have a price initiative, and we open our new Extra in Kingston. We push forward in extending our sales in non-food sales. We expand our Tesco Express. We talk about Tesco Organics. And we talk about the growth in personal finance, accelerating European markets, and growing our Tesco team across the world. At this point, we were moving fast in terms of technology, but not so much in terms of our history. So we've changed the format for our third section, which we'll move to now. We move on now to the third section in the museum. This covers from the millennium onwards, and what we've done is look at departments and their history as opposed to carrying on from 2000 to 2011. So we'll move down and start looking through these panels. The first panel we come to is all about Clubcard. We cover the history from 1995 through to 2011. This details the development of Clubcard and the impact it's had on our business. The second panel is all about dunnhumby, the company behind the success of Clubcard, the data processing that they do for us, the data processing that they sell to other companies who are down here. So the history of dunnhumby from 1989 to 2011. The third panel we get to is all about Tesco Extra and the evolution of the Extra. It's about the brands that we sell and being as strong in everything as we are in food. Shops within shops, Florence and Fred, Technica, it's all there within the Extra store. Moving on now to the fourth panel. This is about our supply chain. What supply chain has done to improve our availability at less cost. The CO2 emissions. It talks about all of that in this panel. We've even put some videos in here to tell you more about our depots. On this panel, we talk about Tesco Bank, the RBS partnership. We talk about financial services. We talk about when Tesco bought the bank outright and where we move into international countries. Then we move on to the Every Little Helps campaign, and how we've demonstrated the Every Little Helps campaign here is with all the advertising that we do around that.